Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everyone. My name is Fabio, and I'm here again to talk to you about a Web3 project. March 13, 2024 is one of the most important days in the life of Ethereum network. It's the day that DenCun update takes place. So I'm going to take a closer look at the news that's coming for us. At the end, if you think this content deserves it, leave it a like, share, and subscribe this channel. Let's go analyze DenCon. DenCon results from the combination of the words DenEb and DEFCON 3. DEFCON 3 was a conference that happened in Cancun in 2017 with more than 2,000 participants. It was a Ethereum conference. DenEb is the brightest star of the constellation of Cygnus. DenCon is the mix between these two words, and it's a mix between two upgrades happening simultaneously. DenEb is the upgrade on the Ethereum consensus layer, and Cancun is the upgrade on Ethereum's execution layer. So DenEb plus Cancun equals DenCon. DenCon is the first major upgrade, Ethereum upgrade since the merge in 2022. The goal is to improve the blockchain's scalability, efficiency, and security. Before Oleski, DenCon was implemented on the Goerli and Sepolia tested networks on January. After successful completing the test phase on the Oleski network on February, this update successfully took place on March 13. So how does this upgrade works? Through something called Ethereum Approval Proposal or EIPs. In total, in this case, we are talking about 9 different EIPs that went online with DenCun upgrade. EVM is the engine that allows smart contracts to be executed on Ethereum network, and I will talk about EVM a lot in the next few minutes. So the first EIP it's the 1153. It is called transient storage. Until now, the EVM has had two types of data storage: short term and persistent term. So in this case, the data could be stored forever. The developers who work directly with Ethereum network had long ago identified the needs for a new method to store data. With this EIP, the 1153, comes transient storage or transient hosting. It allows storage to take place only during the execution of a transaction on the network. As soon as the transaction is completed, it is duly recorded in a block and the remaining data is discarded. This will improve smart contracts, simplify EVM, and save on gas. This is the first step towards reducing the huge transaction fees paid on the Ethereum network. The second is EIP 4788. This will reduce the need for trust when validating a block. This is a mechanism that allows the EVM to make the current block aware of its parent's block in the beacon chain, the chain that is responsible to validate blocks. EIP 4844, it's the most important in this upgrade. This brings to the table a concept called proto-denk sharding. This is another step towards improving Ethereum scalability. The Ethereum team have been working on this update for 2 years now. It introduced a concept called blob, which will allow the temporary storage and access of large amounts of off-chain data by the nodes of the Ethereum network. As the data is off-chain, transaction costs on the L2, the layers 2, which are already lowered compared to the main network, will be 10 to 50x lower. The competition between L2 and L1 for block space ends. The gas in layer 2 goes down, and the gas in layer 1 will also get reduced. In this table, we can see some projections of the future value of the fees in L2. First of all, the fees in L1 in mainnet Ethereum will remain the same, despite we know that will probably get reduced. So let's not take too much care about the fees, the value fees on the Ethereum mainnet. But let's see these two examples on this layer 2. First of all, Starknet. Now the value of the fees is more or less $1.16, but it goes down and it probably goes to around 12 cents. In the Optimist, we see that now we have 38 cents and could be as low as 4 cents to transaction. We see that the value goes down a lot. EIP 5656, it's a new feature directly related to development of smart contracts in this network, which greatly reduces fees. As we see in this example, with before the IP 2929 to execute these commands, we have to pay more than 700 gas, I'm sorry, 757 gas. After that upgrade, the 2929, we go to 157. Now, in this moment, we are paying 96, and after this EIP, we go to 27. So, with this EIP, we get the fees, we reduce the fees a lot. With EIP 6780, this was a feature intended to reward developers for using good practice when developing smart contracts, namely deleting data related to the status of the transactions. But this solution brought more problems than solutions. From now on, this feature will only be available for certain situations. EIP 7044 makes unstaking a little bit simpler. Before a transaction on the network, we always must sign the transaction. With this update, when we want to unstake our Ether, we only have to sign this operation once per wallet. And from then on, every time we unstake, we won't have to sign the transaction again. It's perpetual. Yet another way of reducing work on the network, and we know less work, less fees. EIP 70.14.5. In Ethereum, an epoch is a 32 slot period where validators propose and test blocks. The time allocated for each slot is 12 seconds. The entire epoch will take 6.4 minutes in total time. Each block of transaction is recorded on the network in a specific slot. There can be slots without blocks but there can be no blocks registered on the network without being associated with a particular slot. Until now, each validator could only validate one block in the current epoch. If the block began to be validated at the end of the epoch, there was a possibility that it would not be properly validated. This EIP allow the block to be validated during the current and the next epoch, which means that the blocks has more time to be properly validated. In EIP 7514, this update will slow down the growth of the network as it will reduce the rewards for each validator. The aim is to give the community time to investigate and discuss solutions related to rewards received by each validator. Last but not least, with EIP 7516, This functionality allows developers to know the amount of gas they will have to pay, which will make it possible, for example, to allow or prevent transactions depending on the cost they will have to pay for the transactions. For those who want to develop on Ethereum, DenCun brings a new set of features that aims to attract more developers. For users, with this update, we expect a drastic reduction in transaction costs on Ethereum layers 2 and also a reduction on layer 1. Less fees, more profits. If you're an Ethereum user or an ETH investor, you don't need to do anything. If someone messages saying you need to do something, bridge your ETH, download a file, etc., it's a scam, run for your life. Ultimately, the goal is to improve the Ethereum's blockchain scalability, efficiency, and security. If you think this content deserves it, leave it a like, share, and subscribe. Take care and see you next time.